Hey, welcome. It is a windy day here in northeast Oklahoma, end of November. Why is it horses don't like windy days? If you've been around horses very much, you figured out they don't like windy days. Why is that? This is a little long two-year-old filly. She's got about 6 or 7 rides on her. And she's also kind of buddy sour, so all of that kind of adds to it. Horses are mammals, so they have the same 5 senses that we have: see, hear, taste, smell, touch. However, they rely a lot more on smell and hearing than we humans do. I read recently an equine brain scientist, specialist, who said that she believes that horses' sense of smell is as good as a dog. So, which is what, something like 100 times better than ours. So when it's windy, they can't smell things close, but think about it, what's flying through the air in terms of smells? Wind's coming from behind you. I have a neighbor about a quarter mile down the road that has about 25 horses. There's a pack of coyotes that live out in the field about a quarter mile that way. So what is she smelling? I'm not really sure, but it's a lot more than you and I can smell. Probably even more so than that. When the wind is blowing, they cannot hear very well. That's probably the main reason horses don't like windy days, because it really messes up their ability to hear things. And you can see I didn't even ask her to move. She's just nervous. I just pulled her out of the stall and she's kind of fidgety. There, that's better. And so because they can't hear very well, that's probably the main reason that horses are bothered by windy days, because they rely a lot on their ability to hear things. And then their vision, horses have a panoramic vision and they can see all the way around them, but as a general rule, their ability to see clearly is not quite as good as ours, but they do see movement. Like right now, the wind's picking up. You see these winds blowing? I mean, the leaves blowing around. Every leaf that blows registers in her nervous system. So the combination of all of those things makes horses nervous on a windy day. So let me start moving her around, and I want to give you an analogy here. Suppose that you lived in an inner city neighborhood that was run by a street gang, and you lived in this dangerous neighborhood, and then you found out that this street gang had put out the word that they were going to kill you. If you got out, if they caught you out by yourself, they were going to jump you and beat you to death. And you believed them and knew that to be true. Well, you'd be kind of nervous about going out of your house, wouldn't you? And so, as long as you were in a group, let's say you had 10 of your best friends and you all traveled together, you're fairly safe. But you knew that if you went out by yourself, that would be the end of you. Okay, and you can see how bothered this little horse is. And it's not just the wind. She's just bothered by a lot of things. Okay, so as long as you went out with 10 of your friends in this dangerous neighborhood, you were okay. But you knew if you ever went out by yourself that you were going to die. Confident of it. Okay, now let's suppose you met a new friend. This new friend is Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris says, "Hey, I'm a martial arts expert and I carry 2 pistols and 2 knives in my boots, and I'll protect you. Come on, let's go walk to the store." Okay, and you're gonna like, well, I don't know. And he says, "Come on, trust me, let's try it." And you start walking to the store, and the first block, some gang member comes up and Chuck Norris, boom, 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 knocks him down. And you're going, okay, maybe this isn't too bad. You get to the next block and there's 3 of them, and Chuck takes them all out with one big kick, and you start feeling a little better about it. And after this happens 2 or 3 times, you think, maybe I can trust this guy to protect me. Okay? That's what I'm asking this horse to do. That's the best way I can illustrate what I'm asking her to do. Because when she gets away from her herd, she feels very vulnerable. Let me ask her to trot. She feels vulnerable, and she feels afraid, and she feels like everything is going to kill her. And her instinct and her nervous system tells her these leaves blowing, all this stuff is dangerous. And I'm trying to teach her, hey, let me be Chuck Norris. I'm going to watch out for you. I'm going to protect you. So how do I do that? I do that a variety of ways, but mainly by moving her feet. Okay? Because that's what lead horses do in the pasture. They move their feet. I'm going to move her feet. And right now, she's got about zero amount of trust. See where her head's up, and she kicked at the dog, and she's kind of trying to ignore me. And with her, because I know her, this will take me about 15 minutes to work her and get her to really start paying attention to me, because right now, she doesn't think I can do anything to help her. She's really nervous, she's upset, she's bothered. Like I say, I've ridden this horse, and I'll probably ride her again later on, but I'm not going to ride her right now because her nervous system, she's all nervous and upset and bothered by everything that's here, and the wind's blowing and everything like that, okay? And I'm going to work her. Okay, now let me ask her to slow down and think a little bit. Okay, and she didn't. I asked her to kind of come in and drop her head and think a little bit, and she didn't, so I'm going to have to keep doing this, all right? So we'll just see how long this takes. And one of my sayings is it takes, see, she's totally ignoring me there. Totally. Totally. There. It takes a lot of long, slow hours to train a horse. You see where her attention is? She's looking at the horses out there. She's sniffing the wind. She's looking at the dog. She's kind of shying a little at the camera. She's looking at everything and everybody except me. All right, let's try it again. Slightly better, not a lot, but slightly better than it was a few minutes ago. Okay. I've been groundworking this filly now for 45 minutes probably. Still windy, but look where her head is now. She's kind of getting to be okay with life. Now I can get on her and ride her.